I think it's impossible to deny any longer that there's something here that is opening up for a lot of us. To find that deeper curiosity, to not be so scared about losing who we are. Who am I gonna be? The number one thing we need to have is, and when we can learn to just simply allow this space, this newfound space, this curiosity to just develop itself naturally, by just paying attention to it, it's like, what the hell is that? Of course they're supposed to be there. It's just the narrative that we get stuck in that pull us out into unawareness, out from the present moment. So you're watching this because you feel like you're ready to shift. It's time, right? Something in you is opening up. There's something that you're becoming aware of that you haven't been aware of before, that has always been there, that you're becoming more curious about. And sometimes you might go unaware of it. Sometimes you might think that you have lost it and you have a deep desire to get it back. You haven't lost it. It's always there, regardless if you're aware of it or not. But I will share in this video one crucial attribute that we need to have if we really want to shift our identity, if we really want to allow ourselves to step fully into our new version of ourselves. Because I think we all have this underlying, maybe subconscious, unconscious desire to wake up one day and things are just different. Wake up one day and we realize that, oh, the world looks different. I'm seeing the world in a new way. And so make sure to stick around in this video because I'm going to share a little bit later the number one attribute that will take us there. But I think it's impossible to deny any longer that there's something here that is opening up for a lot of us. A lot of us are becoming more aware of something that I can't really put into words, because if I did, I would lie. And I can't point towards it. I can't tell you where it is. But it's here, and it's this, and it's now. And it's happening here. It's this happening right here. But there might be a, let's say the first little glimpse of what I'm talking about might feel like there's a angle, a newfound angle. It might be more to the right or more to the left in your awareness. You can't really pinpoint what it is. You can't put the finger on what it actually is. But if you lean into it, there's curiosity there. And innocence. And a sense of familiarity and truth and peace and fulfillment. And a sense of, this feels right. I want to be here all the time. And if that is you, that is great. That's exactly what we want to be at. And the fact that you are aware of that means that it's already there, right? You don't have to grasp it. You don't have to think that you're losing it. You don't have to think that it can be lost, because it cannot be lost. It's there. It's already there. The fact is that the things that tell us or that convinces us that it has been lost are just thoughts. I have lost it. That's a thought, right? Coming up inside awareness. Because what I'm obviously talking about is awareness just becoming more aware of itself. And what is keeping us away from resting there all the time are just thoughts appearing inside awareness, blocking us from realizing what it is. We may have this mechanism or activity in our mind that we are identified with, that we think is a superpower, which may be a superpower, but this need to understand it. What is this? I want to understand it. I want to make a concept out of it. I want to intellectualize it. Can I put a word into it? Can I make it into a concept? Can I make a map for myself to get back there? You know, all these things are just thoughts coming up that wants to intellectualize what I'm talking about, which is impossible because it's not a thought. And you recognize that. If you know what I'm talking about, you recognize that it's not a thought, it's not an emotion or a feeling, it's not inside physical reality, and you cannot find a word to describe it, right? But yet it's there. So this thing we really want to lean into as much as we can. And here's the thing, here's what I wanted to tell you, because when our curiosity for this thing becomes greater than the fear of losing what we have and who we are, then we will shift. I'm gonna say that again. When our curiosity for this space, this angle, this point, whatever you wanna call it, portal, when our curiosity for this thing becomes greater than the fear of losing what we have or who we are, that's a really, really good place we want to be at. And it's gonna feel, it might feel disorienting, or like you're losing the sense of where you're at, like a location where you're at. Like you might even feel vertigo. I used to have vertigo for quite a while. It's not an uncomfortable vertigo, but it feels disorienting. It's like, what's happening? Where am I? And your mind might start almost like you have been spinning around on like a carousel or something for a while. But it's just your mind trying to regain its control, its power, its certainty. I know what's going on, and this is the superpower I spoke about before, what we all identify with. I know what's going on. I need to figure it out. I know I know how reality works. I got it under control. And if I don't, I will make sure to be in control or to figure it out. And I need to figure this thing out. I need to intellectualize it. Because this is my superpower. I'm analytical. I know what's going on. I need to understand this thing so that I can verbalize it so other people can get there as well. That's me, guilty of that one. I used to do that for a long time. I used to try and understand it and put words into it and create maps so that I could point people in that direction. It just becomes another obstacle for myself to just rest in that space and to recognize it all the time. And here's the thing. When the curiosity for this thing becomes greater than the fear of losing what we have or what we are, to be able to find that deeper curiosity, to not be so scared about losing who we are, who am I gonna be? The number one thing we need to have is trust. Trust it will help you tremendously. So actually directing your trust, first of all, we can learn how to feel trust. What does trust feel like? If you feel the sensation of trust, if you trust in a person, if you trust whatever if you trust in my words, whatever I'm saying, I'm not telling you to trust me. I'm saying that you should try for yourself. But what does trust feel like? It feels reassuring, right? It feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels like there's belonging in it. Home, right? Now, we want to allow the mind to trust the heart above itself, before itself. That's the thing. We want to find the courage enough to allow our mind to trust the heart, that the heart always knows what it wants. Even if it's pain, even if it's pleasure, even if it's things that we absolutely don't want to face with our mind, we want to trust that the heart knows what it wants, always, because it does. And this is the thing. We want to learn to come down to the heart and look at reality with our heart instead of with the mind. We really want to look at reality with both, but first the heart, almost like looking down towards the heart and then out towards reality. Inviting everything in, feeling reality with the heart instead of trying to calculate reality, right? We want to feel reality instead of calculate reality. That is really where we want to get to. And when we can allow ourselves to rest in that space of trust and being aware of that angle in space, portal, whatever you want to call that, at the same time, we can allow ourselves to rest there. And all of these things that you might have heard in the past of becoming one with the universe and all these things, they are absolutely amazing, but they will appear effortlessly, without needing to do anything, without needing to get somewhere. It's not a destination at all. And all these things are also just concepts. I also want to feel like I'm one with the universe. It's just thoughts coming up, blocking us from recognizing this. So resting in trust, being aware of this space that is opening up, that is a really good path forward. A really good path. And it's going to take you deep, but it may be scary. There may be a lot of fears coming up, and it will come up, and pain and grief and all these things that are in your nervous system that is always pulling you back in towards your mind. Because all of these stories, oh, this pain that I endured when I was 15, whatever. All of these stories that we have, they will pull us into the mind. More thoughts, right? So we really want to just allow everything to be exactly as it is. To allow ourselves to feel everything exactly as it is. It's so simple. To just choose whatever arises in each moment. To realize that this thing that is opening up, the sense of I, is the same as the now. They are the same thing. The I and the now are exactly the same. It's the same thing. The difference between the I and the now is that the I is never changing and the now is always changing. But they are the same. Right? The I is never changing. It's always still, it's always there, it's always exactly as it's always been ever since even before we took birth. But the now is always changing. But both are permanent. Right? And when we can learn to just simply allow this space, this newfound space, this curiosity to just develop itself naturally, but just paying attention to it, it's like, what the hell is that? It's the most curious thing I've ever discovered in my life. How can I have not seen this? Just allow ourselves to be curious, keep being curious about that. No destination, don't need to do anything else. There's nothing to do about it. Just be curious about it and you will rest in your own being. You will rest in your own well-being. You'll feel good just by resting in that curiosity. And ask yourself, what the hell is that? Without needing an answer. Give up that. Give up the interest in needing an answer all the time. Become comfortable not knowing what's going to happen. And trust. Because trust is, at least what I have found, the best thing that will take us into the unknown. To give up the need to figure everything out. To have control. Because trust is the opposite of control, if you think about it. Trusting that whatever happens is meant to happen. And that's exactly what it is. Everything that happens is meant to happen. Even thoughts that you have that tell you that this is not supposed to happen, they are supposed to happen. Because otherwise it wouldn't happen. These thoughts, this shouldn't be here. They are supposed to be there. Otherwise they wouldn't be in your mind, right? Of course they're supposed to be there. It's just the narrative that we get stuck in that pull us out into unawareness, out from the present moment. Back into psychological time, back into suffering, back into survival, back into fight or flight. But even allowing that, allowing suffering, allowing fight or flight, allowing everything to be exactly as it is, and feel what that is. What is this? What is suffering? What is this resistance that I'm doing? Can I trust that this is exactly what it's supposed to be? So that is a pointer for you. That has helped me tremendously on this path. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to, like and comment as well, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.